Hi everyone, and welcome to the Good Woo. This is a video on the full moon on the 26th or 27th, depending on where you are in the world. But also, I'm making it now because it's a super moon, and so it's really already in effect in many ways, especially if you're sensitive to moon cycles and cosmic weather in general. You're already in it. And this moon is so transformative, so deeply healing if we're tapping into it in a high vibrational way. So right away, the first card that I just pulled was offering. And this is so apropos because this is a full moon in Scorpio. Scorpio really is all about death and rebirth. It's that the deepest place we can go. In astrology, it rules the 8th house. The 8th house represents, death, taxes, transformation, psychic phenomena, magic, power. So Pluto is also a planet that rules Scorpio, as does Mars. Pluto is that planet of power, of triangulation, of power struggles, of the deep trauma of the past, of the volcano, what comes up out of the volcano, those deep places of pain and trauma in our soul, and how we transform them and turn them into gold, right? Mars, of course, also rules Scorpio. It's the planet of action, willpower. It's sex. It's how we take action in the world. It's also can be how we fight, what we fight for, conflict, aggression, anger. So this moon, the way that, the planets are having dialogue during this supermoon is complex in that Saturn, which is the planet of restriction, right? Of maturity, of discipline, structure, the material world manifested, how we work with limitation. Saturn is the no. And it's interesting because in the weekly woo, we got no and we got let go to the oracle cards we had. This moon is asking for us to surrender. As soon as I say that, the offering of what do you think it is that you have to let go of to be truly living and doing what you're here to do? What is it you have to let go of to feel better about yourself? What is it that you have to let go of to be a vessel for joy, a vessel for that falling in love with life, right? This moon makes me, why I wanted to come on and do this video so badly today was I can see, in my friends and family, like how this is affecting my world, where this moon is where we can make peace with grief in a very almost erotic way. And what do I mean by that? Grief, I like to describe it now as that grief is where your love has nowhere to go, right? And that's why it's so painful, because, when we lose someone or there's a breakup or we lose a situation or whatever, all that passion and love you had, it feels like there's nowhere for it to go. But where grief is so transformative, whether it's around healing your past in general, or it's about a specific person, or it's about a specific situation, the lesson is to take that love that you feel has nowhere to go and to turn it on you. And that's a challenge, right? And that is really an offering to the self. So offering also being, where do you need to make peace in your life? Whether that's with a person or circumstances or the past or a past version of yourself, where is that? For me, there's definitely a version of myself in the past that I have a hard time thinking about. I feel like there's a place in this week, as this moon grows, where those meditations where we go back into situations, circumstances that we were a part of as that adult now, right? That Saturn energy, we become that when we go back into a past circumstance or a past memory, and then we reconfigure it the way we wish it could have gone, the way we want it to have gone. Whether that's changing our actions in the situation or changing someone else's, the way you responded, whatever it is. That kind of work, that deep work going into your psyche, going into the past and healing it through the ability to be like your own adult, like your own mother, your own father, your own sage, that future self, which is your now self, going to the past self and healing a circumstance, energetically and psychically. You may be called to do that this week. And your dreams will also be super powered right now, because this kind of moon is going to illuminate, shed light on, the flashlight on anything that needs to pop, to be looked at, to be seen, to be healed. There's really no getting away from this moon. Okay, so another part I feel like this moon that's going to be difficult, this idea of no, right? Saturn is that. When you have Saturn squaring, Mercury, Venus, the sun, which is what's happening this week, there can be this sense of like, you can't have what you want. You can't right now, right? It's like the timing is, there's just this pause, there's a no, but the no is coming in so that you can really take the time to ask this question again. What is the lesson? What is the wisdom I need to be taking in to this next phase, this next chapter? And Saturn is here this week to go, okay, there's more. There's more to do before you're totally ready. And it's not like a no forever. It's just like a not right now. But also, you guys, you could be the one saying that. There could be the healing could be so intensive and so deep right now and so liberating that you may need to go inside for a while. You may need, in the tarot, it's like the Hermit card. You may need to take some time to go within and be still with yourself and do the journaling, have the tea, write the letters and burn them. Really, so much can be lifted up and out of us psychically, energetically, and emotionally this week leading up to this moon. The warnings of this are, you know what you have to let go of, right? By now, going through what we've gone through in 2020, all the cosmic weather that's led up to this point, even in 2021, we know where we're holding on to things that aren't good for us. Even if that's a rumination of the past. And we also know by now where we must be more disciplined. Now, when I talk about grief, this is an important part of this because there is so much that has changed. In many ways, so much that has been lost, specifically in the last year. And it's important that that is acknowledged. And although new things are happening, that loss, if we don't acknowledge it, can become like, a wound that never heals. It's like you just slap a Band-Aid on it, but it's not actually healing. So this week also really offers us the invitation to be like, okay, kind of like, let me look at where am I feeling grief? What am I missing? What do I feel I've lost? What do I feel has died? And what is taking its place? and do, one foot in the past, one foot in the future, like I've been talking about. I think this moon is saying to us, perhaps the things that you have lost or the things that you're grieving over, it's time to say, I see it, I acknowledge it, and I can't do anything about it. I have to take steps forward. Now, again, with Saturn, it's that idea of it's a one step at a time. We can't go racing off into, massive action with this moon. This moon is much more about the healing that's required to be that mature follower of the dream, right? Not the naive one who maybe didn't create strong boundaries or didn't listen to limitations or thought you were invincible, but it's inviting us to be practical in the dream. And that actually gives it, with all of this earth energy going on in this fixed energy, it actually gives what we truly want the possibility of an even more intensive longevity. So you can even see in like the way that I'm speaking, right? The energy of it may feel, especially that all these planets have gone into Taurus, it feels like things are slowing down. But that slowing down is so these emotions, these griefs can come up and out and then be integrated in that, okay, I've acknowledged it. What have I gained from it? What's the lesson from it? So that you can then, right, go, okay, well now that's not going to be sapping and draining my creative energy. Now I can actually put some structure and focus to how I want to use myself, how I want to be effective in the world. I feel like this moon, this full moon, is going to bring up past heartbreaks. And if you're in a relationship, it could be a moon that re-stimulates the pain of the past. And if that's the case, like, I really feel like this moon is a great therapy moon. So perhaps, and I sometimes feel like Saturn is very therapy at least in my experience, when I've had big Saturn transits, that's when I'm like, aha, that's when I know I really need a guide. I need an elder, to help me navigate the emotional process of leveling up. Because, leveling up is not always easy. You think about climbing a ladder or climbing stairs. It gets fatiguing and you need support, you need help, you need guidance. So I feel like with this moon, we're also going to have people coming into our life who will help us release. So offering, right? What do you need to give up? What do you need to let go of? And who do you need to give to? There may be a gesture of kindness, a phone call, a text, an apology, a reconciliation. And that's really what this moon is going to be great for. Okay, so we got purification. Coventina, purification. It is time for cleansing, a cleansing detoxification of your body and mind. So a prayer that I work with, and I work with, angelics, is I ask that all energy that is not my own be cleared from my field and sent back to source energy. And that my mind, body, and spirit be detoxed from anything negative that I have exposed it to, known or unknown, seen or unseen. This moon will amplify that prayer. So this is a great time to fast, to detox. Of course, you always want to be doing that with the guidance of a healthcare practitioner that you trust. Great time for colon cleansing, really is. I mean, that's Scorpio full moon. I mean, it's let it go, let it go, let it go out of every orifice. Then another card came out, which is Diana, focused intention. And that's really what, I feel like this is very much a Saturn card. Look at her. Cutting away what has to go. These are both cards of that. And like being focused about when it gets hard to let go of these people, places, habits, memories, the past, the grief that's identified you, to remember, yes, it's hard, but what are you focusing on? What is the future focus? What do you want for the future? Put your mind back on that. Put your heart back in that. So you spend the time purging, releasing, letting go, offering up whatever it is. And then when it gets hard, you could always come back. Okay, why am I doing this? Why am I letting it go? I'm letting it go because there's a future I see that I want. And if I see it and I want it, that means I can make it happen. So let's pull a couple tea leaf cards. I feel like divination is awesome in full moons. So really all week, if you work with cards of your own, runes, bibliomancy, this is a great time for bibliomancy, which is to pick up a book and basically say, this is my question, flip to a page and read it and see how the answer is illuminated in the text. That's bibliomancy, one of my favorite things to do around full moons. I mean, all the time. Anyway, okay, what else do we need to see about this full moon? What else do we need to see about this full moon coming in? What it's here to show us? Okay, we got stubborn, aggressive person, the Ram. So this could be like an Aries energy in your life, but we're also coming out of Aries season. And so it's a hard transition when we have like fast moving fire energy and now we're going into earth, fixed signs. It's different. But this can, I always say we start with ourselves first. Where are you being stubborn and arrogant? Where you actually need to be letting go and making offerings of peace, of kindness, of friendship, of reconciliation. Then it says chair empty. Someone is leaving your life. Now, perhaps that which is leaving your life is this stubborn, arrogant person, or perhaps this is a part of yourself that you're ready to let go of, right? That you're done holding the resentments. You're done holding the grudges or whatever, and you're going to let that part of yourself go. You surrender that part of yourself to infinite spirit. So, if relationships are having a hard time, full moons, it's usually when things come to a head. So you ask yourself first, where are you being stubborn and aggressive? And then there could be somebody in your life that is being stubborn and aggressive, and then you have to tell them no, and you have to let go of them. So, I do think that if relationships are rickety right now, this moon could topple them. But again, like everything that's going to be taken out by this moon, there's a higher purpose for it being taken out. It's to clear the path so that that heart place that I've been talking about, you can really live in that place. It's hard to live in your heart space when you're filled with resentment and heartbreak and anger and grief, It's like that, it's like a housekeeping for our heart is what's happening with this moon. Where we got to clean it out, clean out those cupboards, those closets, mop those floors. This is the time, and you can make major strides right now with this energy. There's also, because there's all these planets in Taurus, the edge is kind of taken off in some ways when we lean into pleasure, natural pleasure, being out in nature, waking up in the morning, having your tea or your coffee outdoors, being with the sunset, going to the ocean, taking the walks, looking at the blooms and the flowers, allowing the trees to speak to you. All of that right now is going to aid us. It's like, that's the medicine right now. The earth is the medicine. These simple pleasures are the medicine. Good, nourishing meals are the medicine. Beautiful baths with essential oils and salts to cleanse, to purify. Because in May, we start going into eclipse season. And I feel like this moon is really setting us up for it. It's helping prepare us for all these massive changes that are going to continue to happen this year. So you guys, I hope this was helpful. You know, it really dawned on me today is in my own life, sometimes we ask the question, you know, what is the lesson of this circumstance? Or what is the lesson of this relationship? Or what is the lesson of this experience? And I think we go into it thinking that it could, like a negative lesson, like to learn something about ourselves that we need to change, or to learn something about humanity that we have to accept because it's painful. And that can be very true, right? There is a lot of acceptance we have to have about the state of the world and the state of humanity and just how difficult it can sometimes be. But oftentimes, what I'm starting to understand is that the lessons out of hard circumstances, sometimes the lesson is just to show us how incredibly strong we are, or how incredibly loving we can be, that we can love someone despite feeling that they've done A, B, C, and D or whatever. The lesson can be to show you something beautiful about yourself, your ability to endure, your ability to continue to dream. So reflect on that as well, that maybe in the end, some of what we've all gone through is simply to show us that we're incredibly adaptable and that we can create beauty no matter what's going on. You know, that idea of lemons out of lemonade, and the ability to do that, to create something beautiful out of what we may have first perceived as difficult, strange, or hard. That is the power of the creator. That is truly being like a boss in your life. That's taking that Saturn energy and using it in its highest vibrational state. That's also the Pluto energy, using that to its highest vibrational state, you know, turning the shit to gold. And then being so proud that you know how to do that, because life is going to continue to offer us experiences that push us, that expand our mind, our soul, our ability to live in the heart space. So I'm wishing you guys a wonderful, wonderful week as we build up to this full moon. Drink lots of water, get your good night sleeps in. These dreams are going to be potent. A lot of the past is going to be coming up in your dreams. Subconscious fears are going to be coming up in your dreams. It's all coming up so that it can be offered up, and to offer it all up in thanks. That acceptance that everything that is happening to you is happening for you. So that which you have to let go of, even if you've defined it as negative, bad, or whatever, it was still a gift. That kind of thinking, nothing can overcome you if you can get to that place and hold that place. I mean, we're all trying, right? Thank you all so much for viewing.